This is our Super Indexer, one of my favorite tools in the shop. It's a great accessory for the mill. This particular model is a vertical and horizontal. In the horizontal mode, we can simply chuck something in the 3-jaw chuck. We can drill a hole pattern. It's very convenient, not quite as accurate as the rotary table, but for most general machine work, accurate enough to get you by. If we look at the bottom of the base, again, it has the same slots as our vise. So for rapid installation on the table, we would simply machine a block to fit into our keyway that goes into the keyway in the bed as well. So that'll give us rapid alignment. We don't have to spend a lot of time dialing in the part in order to get the shaft parallel to our x-axis. All right, now let's spin it around. Let's take a look at the different degree settings on the side of the Super Indexer. We can see our reference mark and a 360-degree setting around the band of the 3-jaw chuck. Now, if we're to turn over to the other side, this is what locks and releases our pin or hinge pin, allowing us to rotate the indexer. If we release that lever, it's spring-loaded. We pop into the next slot or tooth in the indexing sequence. If we turn our indexer around, we'll notice a plate on the back. In order to change plates, we simply remove the back and install the appropriate plate for the type of indexing that we want to do. This makes it very fast and easy. We don't have to worry about counting or watching the degree wheel. We simply release the lock lever, rotate it until it pops into the next setting, and we're automatically spaced. Right, if we pop our back, you'll notice that we have 24 teeth in our indexing gear. This is our release pin or lock pin here. We simply release it, rotate, the pin automatically locks in place. This is our permanent index plate that we have with 24 teeth that allows us to conveniently divide things every 15 degrees. 0, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, and 90 degree increments. If we don't want to be bothered with 24 direct indexing points, each Super Indexer comes with a variety of secondary master plates, if you will, that will fit on the back of our Super Indexer, allowing us to rapid index in a variety of sequences. This one, for example, gives us indexing at 60-degree intervals. We've got another multi-interval here, again and again. This is a 4, so each time we index, we're going to be indexing at 90-degree intervals. Each Super Saver comes with a good selection of these plates, allowing you the ability to select the appropriate plate for the task at hand. We've got an index hole in the back and a little rivet or stud protruding from the plate. We'll simply align those two. You can see if we look around that we have blocked out all but 6 locations in our master 24 increment plate. So now, as we advance the Super Indexer, we can only lock out in those appropriate locations. So this makes it very convenient when we want to mill a hex head, mill something with 8 sides, etc. Once we've installed our plate, I'm going to go back and install the backing plate which holds that in place. Put our 3 screws in, snug them up, and we're now set to machine a hex head on the back of our wrench that we machined earlier with the profile cutter. This will allow us rapid indexing for a 6-sided nut. Let me take a few minutes to set it up, dial indicate our shaft in place, and I'll be with you in just a moment. Alright, we've mounted our indexer on the table. We're going to be using a 3/4 inch end mill. The diameter of our part is 1 inch ETD 150 round stock. We want to machine it so a 7/8 socket or wrench will fit over the end of it. So 7/8 from 1 inch is 125 thousandths divided by 2. So we're going to need to take 62.5 thousandths off of each flat in order to bring it into specification. We've locked our super indexer in. We've got a lock handle on the back side of our super indexer. Once we've made the necessary index, simply rotate the lock lever back, locking the spindle in place, giving us that extra added rigidity. All right, let's go now. We'll bring our cutter over the top of our work, lock the spindle, elevate the bed until we just come in contact with our workpiece. We're going to set the dial on the Z-axis. We're going to raise the bed 62.5 thousandths. Lock our knee in place. Give our cutter a little shot of cutting fluid. A little bit on the part there. We're going to advance the cutter into the workpiece. All right, loosen our lock lever. Index to our next cam. Put our lock lever in place. We're ready to mill the next flat on our nut. You can see we've got our workpiece choked up pretty close to the chuck, again for added rigidity. So you can see with a few neat accessories for your mill, you're capable of machining some pretty snazzy parts. I'm kind of a tool nut at heart, so I've got a pretty good selection of tools for that emergency job. Sometimes the wife has a hard time understanding that. Just tell her it's a guy thing. All right, that was 5 of 6. We're on our last index. Okay, there we go. That was our 6th flat on the hex nut. Let's go ahead and wipe it off now and see if our socket fits. Voila! Excellent fit of the socket. Now, in order to complete the part, we're going to go ahead and take a file and we'll just break these sharp edges off around our hex nut. So there's a good example of what we can do quickly and efficiently with a super indexer. Very versatile, useful tool. Make sure you have it clamped down tight on the bed. Make sure that you've indicated it in correctly depending upon the machining application. You can also support a long workpiece with a tailstock like we showed with the universal dividing head. Keep that in your bag of tricks as well. Oftentimes we need to extend a large part out either for fluting, milling a flat, or a keyway on it, and we need to support that work. Let me grab that while we're talking about it so again you can get a better visualization of what we're dealing with. Okay, in this application you can see by having the footstock up at the end, it gives our work the extra rigidity that we need in order to either machine flats or a keyway along this shaft. Keep that in your bag of Indian tricks when you're dealing with a super indexer. We've shown you quite a selection of high-dollar accessories that are available for the mill, from a rotary table to a universal dividing head and a super indexer. Don't be intimidated though by the cost or size of these tools. Depending upon the job and the part that you are machining, you can build some simple tooling fixtures like we showed you earlier. Just a little bit of imagination and ingenuity is all that's required to get you into the production line.